Today, before we find a place of stillness, let's just go ahead and move into some cat-cow right away. So we all know this. You just find a nice seat, kind of starting in the center of your sit bones. And then as you inhale, you rock forward on those sit bones. So you feel the shoulder heads press back. You can even feel the elbows squeeze in a little bit. You get that nice arch in your lumbar, the lower back. And then as we exhale, we rock to the back of the sit bones any amount. It can be really tiny starting out, and you try to let the back of the neck release down. Inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding in. And if you feel comfortable here, it can feel really nice to close your eyes. If you feel unsteady at all with the eyes closed, just keep them open. The gaze soft and gentle in front of you. So we're just kind of gently warming up the spine, and you can take your attention there. Just observe how things are feeling in your body. You might even pay attention to your neck here, what's going on. And then maybe if it feels good, you might want to just introduce some other movements here. Not necessary, but if that's calling to you, you can just kind of free form, play around. You could move into some more just kind of like circle the hips a little bit here, kind of dip the shoulders. So just warming the spine up a little bit before we sit quietly here at the beginning of class. Good, and then just start to kind of let go of some of this movement. So eventually just coming to a nice tall seat here. You can be forward in your chair. You could be leaning back into your chair. Arms just palms resting on your thighs. Arms could be by the side if that feels good to you. Sometimes that helps the shoulders to release down a little bit. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. Good, and we do that a few more times. So let the Mondays go, let the gray weather go. Try to let kind of the intensity of this past year go. Obviously, it's still here, but so important that we take these breaks, and our yoga practice is one of those, the avenues by which we do that. So we start to check in. We start to pay attention to how things are feeling physically. We start to pay attention to our breath. We start to pay attention to that emotional, that mental state. Not even necessarily trying to change anything per se, but just bringing that awareness there and acknowledging whatever is going on. And we're just going to sit here quietly for a few moments. We're going to soak up this quiet. Maybe you're going to imagine that you are sitting on a sunny beach somewhere, just feeling the warmth of the sun. Listening to the sound of the breeze, the sound of ocean waves. If there's another place that you like to kind of transport yourself to, go there as well. As we sit quietly here, you might be dipping into your Jai Pranayama, so your victorious breath, in which we constrict the sides of the throat, inhale through the nose so you hear that soft rush of air. And then the same thing happens on the exhale. So exhaling through the nose, creating that soft rush of air. So for a lot of us, this kind of this effortful breathing, the sound of this breath helps to quiet the mind and draw us in. That's not working for you. Again, just steady, easy, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose is great as well. Your attention is going to wander from time to time. You're going to get distracted by sounds happening outside of the room you're in, inside of the room you're in. When you attach to those sounds, when you notice that you've attached to those sounds, release, come back. And probably more distracting than the external things or the internal things, the thoughts that creep up. And just remember, our brains were made to think, so it's okay that that happens. This does not have to look perfect. I'm not sure that we're ever going to find this complete place of stillness, but we do try to find these little pockets of it, these moments of it, and we try to string more of those together. Some days it's easier than others. Be okay with that. Sometimes on the days when the chatter is really loud and we can't turn it off, sometimes the best thing we can do is just kind of smile at it, just chuckle. Good. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then gently blink your eyes open. Let's just do a little side to side bending. So that lateral stretching will just move with the breath and then we'll hold each side. So go ahead and release your arms by your side. Exhale, kind of let those right fingertips get heavy. Feel the sit bones get heavy. Inhale, left arm comes up and over. Any amount, doesn't need to be deep starting out. Exhale, release down. Inhale, right arm. Good, and we know this really well. So you could, again, have your eyes closed here if you feel stable. If not, eyes are open. Gaze soft and gentle in front of you, so you're not really looking at anything. And then you're just moving with your breath at your pace. These look wonderful. You're enjoying this sense of rhythm, this sense of flow. Nice work. Couple more to each side. The next time that left arm is reaching up and over, just hold there. And you can always release the arm down if you need to. You're still going to be getting a lot of the lengthening through this left side. A few of us might start to bring our gaze up underneath that top arm. And then there's also this sensation, if it's available in your body, of that palm, the eye of the elbow spinning behind you. So it's internal rotation. You can start to feel the shoulder blades stack on top of each other as you do that. These look really nice. Breath still smooth and steady. One more deep inhale, beautiful work. Exhale, release your left arm down by your side. And then inhale, that right arm comes up and over. trying to press evenly into your sit bones. So this right sit bone is going to want to pop up a little bit, but just imagine that somebody is gently firming a hand down into your thigh, so you're feeling rooted there. Use that rooted feeling to help you find the length through both sides, and then the twist of the left ribs to the right. Spinning that top palm to face back behind you, any amount that's going to get into the shoulder a little more. You just hold as long as you can. You can always take breaks. Maybe you gaze up underneath that top arm. If it feels okay in your neck, it's going to stretch the neck a little bit. Deep inhale. And then we exhale. Release arms by side. Just take a couple of breaths here. You can kind of wiggle the arms out a little bit if you need to. So we're going to kind of come into another little shoulder stretch here. The variation, I'm going to show a couple variations. So there's a couple different places that you can go with this. All right. So let's see. Option one would be to stretch your arms up and then just to grab elbows and then kind of start to lean back. So a few of us might be able to reach arms up overhead. So palms face towards each other. We interlace fingers. All right. And then we're going to spin the palms to face up towards the ceiling. So this would be option two. And this may not work. So in this variation, you can feel this inner arm start to firm towards the outer arm. And if this is too intense, you're just coming back here to holding elbows. So they're both kind of getting into the same place. All right, so if you're reaching your arms up overhead, see about bending your elbows down. Good, nice work. And then if you're here, maybe you start to lean that left elbow down, the right arm reaches up. And it may or may not, yeah, you got it, Amy. And it's an intense little stretch in the back of the shoulders. Keep breathing. Notice if you've like jutted your chin far, if you're kind of like doing the Pez head thing. So kind of keep the back of the neck nice and long. And then come back up to center here. Oh, take a deep inhale. And then exhale. Oh, we go to the other side. I don't know about you guys, but I feel this one. Keep that breath moving. Really beautiful work, all of you. Good, come back to center. The moment we've been waiting for it, let it go. Release the arms by your side, big sigh of relief. Inhale, shoulders scrunch up around your ears, nice Jim. Exhale, ha. Inhale up, good. Exhale, release the shoulders down. Good, inhale, shoulders to ears. And then exhale, release. And then I love what Amy Young is doing here. So she's just kind of going back and forth. You can see in your screen perhaps. Nice and easy. So as you're leaning back, be really careful that you don't go so far that it feels like you can't breathe. But do you feel that release? Feel the shoulders heavy. Good. So do one more like that. And then let's just go side to side. And you might want to slow this down. You might want to reach through your arms, just apply a little weight. But kind of moving slow, we kind of do this. I don't think anybody is here. You all heard the doorbell. It's just kind of slowly trying to comb some of the tangles out of the muscles in the neck. And as we all know, we all carry a lot of tension and stress here. Good. So just if you remember what side you started on, just end on the opposite side. And then come back to center. And then let's roll the shoulders back. And then roll them forward. Good, back again. Allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. And then let's do one more little kind of arm shoulder stretch here. So start to extend your right arm up. Use your left hand to help wrap inwards. So you're getting internal rotation. We try to hold on to that as we begin to bend. Right elbow. And then just take your left hand on top of that elbow, gently press down. You might not have to press down at all. And you should be feeling a pretty nice stretch here through the tricep, that outer arm. Breath smooth and steady. So come back to that sound of your Ujjayi breath if you've lost it, or that sound of that inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, just release your arms by your side. Breath or two here. And then we start to reach that left arm up. Good, so find internal rotation. See if you can find that. So you're spinning the eye of the elbow to face back behind you, the palm to face back behind you without using your right hand. It's a little harder. And then go ahead and give yourself the assist there. And you might be able to spin in a little more. We try to hold on to that as we bend that left elbow. So fingertips reach down the back. Right hand might press on that left elbow. If you'd like a little more, maybe you don't need that. Keep breathing. And as you inhale, see if you can send that breath all the way down into your belly. As you exhale, everything empties out and contracts in. Good, deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we release. Couple of breaths. So we're gonna come into our crescent pose. We're gonna play with that, and we'll have the option to take that into a twist. And then eventually we're gonna segue this crescent pose into more of a twisting triangle pose using our chair. So, and some hamstring stretching. But to begin with, we're gonna keep our right knee bent. All right. And you can actually just keep both knees bent. So that's always true when we come into more of these standing poses. You just want to feel stable and supported here. And week to week, that can look different in your body. So you always adjust as you need to. So you can stay here. If you would like to extend that left leg out to straight, you're also welcome to do that. So find this idea of pressing down into your sitting bones, and just again, maybe imagine that you have a little yogi assistant there with you, and they're just firming down into your thighs. And even just the idea of that, how does it inform the rest of your body? So with that weight, with that gravity, sometimes it feels like we can lift a little more through the sides of our waist. So we're sitting nice and tall. There's this little sense of back bend in the upper body. And then from here, we're going to take our arms out and up. So coming into this crescent pose, so there's this downward energy, that rooting, and then the inhale helps us to find this upward energy, the lifting. Maybe you start to bring your gaze up. You can take your arms as wide as feels good. So for some of us that are tighter in the shoulders, a little wider feels better in the body. Some of us have the flexibility to start to press palms together. Good. And then as we exhale, let's just bring our palms together at heart center. And we're just going to keep this nice and easy. So we're not going to hinge forward at all, beginning. We're going to just keep sitting upright. And Jim, you're going to be very careful with this. Actually, all of us. So we're going to take a deep inhale. You don't have to go deep into this twist is basically what I'm trying to say. Not very well. So inhale, lengthen. And then exhale. In fact, let's just move with the breath a little bit. So twist the tiniest amount to the right as you exhale and empty out. Inhale, come back to center. Good. Exhale. Really feel this lowermost left rib coming along for the ride. Try to generate the movement from there. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale. Come, twist in any amount. Maybe you can get in a little further. Can you press your palms vigorously together? Just a little more for one breath. And then maybe you extend your arms out wide just for a couple of breaths. Your gaze could be out over your right thumb. You could kind of be looking at an angle directly out in front of you. You might move towards looking out over that right thumb. Okay, so with arms wide, exhale, come back to center. Beautiful work. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent pose. Nice, and then as we exhale, we release down. So go ahead and bend that left knee in if you extended that leg to straight. And we'll take that little sequence to the second side. So keeping this left knee bent. You can extend the right leg to straight. This side might look different in your body. So it can be here or here. Good. So energetically, really start to kind of put your brain down in your sit bones. Imagine that you just have a friend there, just kind of helping to ground you down. As you exhale into those sit bones, into the feet, feel that rootedness. But then as you inhale, find a little lift, a little lightness, a little lengthening through the sides of your waist and spine. And then on our next inhale, we take our arms out and up. So again, we find this crescent pose variation. Beautiful work. Arms can be wide. That's great if you're tighter in the neck and the shoulders. A few of us that are a little more open might start to press the palms together. Feel that lift of the sternum up towards the palms, up towards the ceiling. Good. And then as we exhale, we bring our hands to heart center. And you can kind of vigorously press in here. Make sure that the shoulders aren't creeping up around the ears. So releasing down. Nice steep inhale. Just moving with the breath. Exhale. Start to twist to the left. Any amount. It could just be the tiniest amount. That counts. Good. Inhale back to center. If you have any sensation at all, you could also just be staying in the center place here. Exhale, twist in. Good. Inhale back. And then exhale. We twist in here. We hold for a couple of breaths. Really press palms together. Beautiful work, all of you. Play with your gaze. So find a spot to look at that feels good. Good. And then perhaps you start to stretch your arms out wide. One might fall down. That's okay. But kind of feel how shoulder blades are stacking. Nice work, Jim. These all look wonderful. You might eventually move towards looking out over that left thumb. That might not feel good in your neck, in which case you skip it. Okay, so inhale here. Keep stretching out through the arms. As you exhale, you come back to center. Beautiful work. As you inhale, arms reach up overhead. Gaze up. And then as you exhale, just release the arms down. So nice. You can bend that right knee back in, or let's see, yeah, the opposite one, wherever you're at. So just coming back to your mountain pose. So I'd like to do that similar sequence again. You know that some of you do enjoy coming a little deeper into the twist and then hooking the elbow, so our twisted crescent. I'm going to give you the option to do that. So if you know that the forward folding and the twists are hard, I'm just going to invite you to stay upright. So I'll cue you as to where you can pause. But otherwise, if you want to play with going a little deeper, you're more than welcome to do that on this side. So again, I'm going to start on this right side. That knee is bent. Maybe this left knee is bent. Maybe you extend that leg to straight. All right, so legs are set up for our crescent. As we inhale, arms reach up. Good. As we exhale, palms come to heart center. Take another deep inhale here. Good. As you exhale, twist to the right any amount. So this is a good place for most of us to stay. Jim, you just stay right here. If you want to play with going a little deeper, maybe you start to hinge forward and twist that left elbow to the outside of that right thigh. And then you get a little leverage. So this is definitely going to get into the lower back a little more. It might not be happening in your body today. If you're doing the upright version, you're getting a really, really good twist. Nice work. And you're also welcome to spread arms here too, even if you're in the twist. So you could reach that left arm down, right arm up. Again, these are all just like suggestions. They're all variations of the same pose. Some days these variations feel nice. Some days they don't. Great work. Good. And one more deep inhale. Nice, Scott. As you exhale, just start to unwind. Come back to center. And then you can release your arms down. Amy Young, I couldn't see you, but I'm pretty sure you were in there nice and deep. This is like, you love this one. All right, so go ahead and bend, or just bring that left leg back if it was extended. And then extend right leg to straight if you want to do that variation. You can also be right here, getting all of the same stuff. Okay. Inhale, arms reach. Good. As you exhale, hands come down the midline. You could also just stay here. This would be a really good place to be as well. Deep inhale. Exhale. Begin to twist to the left. It might be a little deeper because we've warmed this up. It might not be. And again, be very mindful if the twists are kind of don't feel the best in your body. Go easier. Go less far. And then finally, if you wanted to hinge forward, hooking that right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, can kind of use that leverage of the two against each other to help you really spin those right ribs up even more. And then a final variation here would be to split your arms. You could be splitting your arms even if you're more upright. So just play with all of those things. Are you breathing? Notice in these twists on the inhale, it's really hard to fill up. So you're not going to, but do try to expand your breath out in all directions. As you exhale, everything kind of contracts in. It helps you to get into the twist, maybe a micromillimeter more. Good. One more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you unwind. Just start to make your way back to center. And then you're going to bend that right knee in if you extended that leg to straight. So before we play with kind of some similar actions to that, let's find a downward facing dog with our chair just to find lots of even length through both sides of the way. So I'm going to turn to the side here so you guys can see. And we've all done this before. So you could be reaching forward. You could even do this if you wanted to challenge the core a little bit today, kind of with a make-believe chair, keep a little bit higher. But if you do want that support, kind of just gauge that chair forward or whatever it is you're using. And then if it's available, maybe spread your fingers a little bit. So I'm kind of on the heel of the hand. I'm spreading the fingers and then just imagining that I could press down on the floor. You could even bring the chair a little closer and press into the seat of the chair. That will be easier to find. And then do let your neck release down a little bit so that your ears line up with your biceps. And Jim, you're going to stay more upright here. So make sure that you're on the tall part of the chair. Yeah. I'm going to give you all a few good breaths to be here. As you press down into the hands, you feel the arms fire up. And you want to really feel this lengthening through the upper body. Good. So go ahead and roll on up here. Just come to seated. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. And we're going to do one more of those downward facing dogs. And again, in this pose, just really looking for length through the sides of the waist, kind of stretching out long through the arms, the length through the sides of the neck, really lengthening in the back of the neck. All right, so as you're ready, you're going to start to make your way into your second. And again, there's lots of possibilities here. You can be pressing on heel of the hand to the top of the chair if that's what you're using. It's okay if hands press on the seat of a chair or a table in front of you. It all kind of just provides different feelings. Higher is better if these forward folds are tighter in your body, a little more challenging. And then just keep breathing. And you're just kind of looking down at your feet here. So your gaze is just at your toes. Again, those ears are lining up with the inner arm. And see if you can find that idea of the inner arm wrapping towards the outer arm. So little external rotation. You might start to notice that widening that happens across the backs of the shoulders. Good, and then start to roll on up here. And we're gonna play with pyramid pose, which is a forward fold. It's kind of similar to our crescent pose, except for that classically both legs are straight. So I'm gonna give a couple of variations. So some of us are gonna use the chair if that feels good. You won't necessarily need to. So let me just demo what this looks like standing, and then so you have more of an idea of what it is we're looking for in the chair. And I'm going to actually show from the side view here, I'm going to show our crescent pose. So we were kind of just approximating that with our twist. So this is crescent pose. I'm on those back toes. I have a deep bend in this front knee. And then of course we played with the twisting version of that. So what I'm wanting to play with is pyramid pose, which is similar, except for that both legs are straight. So it's kind of this really nice forward fold. So hips are neutral, my feet about hips distance apart, and then you're kind of reaching forward. And it's this really lovely hamstring stretch. It's this lengthening through the sides of the waist. So we're gonna try to find that with our chair. And then much like the twisted crescent pose, you can also start to take this into a twist. So we're gonna play with this a little bit. We're gonna find some different variations. And we're gonna see how it goes. So you have that chair in front of you if you're using a chair. And I do think if you have the back of the chair towards you, that will be nice. If you do have blocks too, you can also have them kind of by the sides. So we may or may not need those. But what I'm wanting to find here is we're gonna start with our right leg on top of the chair. Now, if you kind of don't have something so that you're even, I'm just going to invite you to extend that right leg to straight and then just keep this left knee bent. That will work. All right, so you might be here, right leg extending, placed on that foot. And then options here, you can keep this left knee bent. Maybe you extend that leg to straight. So you can kind of see that pyramid shape in our legs that we had here. All right, so to start out, wherever you're at, and you can just be here as well, kind of just repeating that crescent pose, that will work. We inhale, stretch our arms up. All right, so I want you to imagine that somebody is pulling you up by your wrists, and then you start to hinge forward any amount. So we're all varying abilities of flexible. We all have different places where we feel safe right now. The important part is that you're mindful of that. So I think hands pressing on the top of the chair is really nice. For those of us that have a little more flexibility and feel stable being here like this, maybe hands come to the seat of the chair. A couple of us might even play with bringing hands to the blocks underneath us. So lots of options. Deeper doesn't mean that you're more enlightened or anything like that. We all have different bodies. We all have different things going on. So these poses are going to look different for all of us. Try to let the back of your neck lengthen. Nice, Jean. Keep that breath moving. And this is intense. So sometimes in these really intense poses where we're feeling it, we start to hold the breath. So try to keep the breath moving. Beautiful work, you guys. As you inhale, you're going to slowly start to roll on up. Take a couple of breaths here. Just sitting nice and tall. All right, so let's go ahead and play with coming into a little twist. So we're just going to stay on this side. So wherever you're at, let's inhale, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, twist to the right any amount. So I'm really upright right now. This is probably where a lot of us are going to stay. So for those of us kind of like getting in a little deeper, have that hamstring flexibility, maybe you start to hinge forward a bit. And then perhaps you release that left arm down so it comes to the outside of your right leg, and then stretch that right arm up. So coming into your twisted triangle pose. Oh, nice work. Jim, I love where you're at. That's good work. You too, Amy Hillman. Everybody, these look really nice. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind. Roll back up. Good. And then we just transition out of this side to the second side. So again, there's a lot of possibility here. So maybe you're simply just extending that left leg to straight. So it's very similar to the crescent pose that we did. Perhaps you can extend that leg onto a chair in front of you. So good place to be. A couple of us might play with taking this right leg straight as well. And just notice how hips are facing forward here. We're in a neutral pose. Torso is facing forward. Good. And we're going to turn that in to that forward fold any amount. So as you inhale, arms reach up. Hold on to all of this length as you start to hinge forward, and you need not go very deep. So the chair is really nice here. Kind of gives you something to hold on to for those of us with a little more flexibility in the body and the hamstring. You could bring your hands to the seat of the chair. And then you also have the option of blocks, and the blocks are great too because you can change the height. This side might feel different in your body, so we're always making little adjustments. Gaze soft and gentle in front of you, breath smooth and steady. So even though we're forward folding here, can you find a little lift, openness across your heart and chest, a little sense of back bend? Good, and then as we inhale, you just start to roll on up. And before we come into that twist variation, we just take a breath or two here. Notice how you're feeling. I don't think we've ever done this variation before too. So sometimes when we try something new, the brain it takes a minute to like catch up and decide if this is working or not. All right, so here we go. As we inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Take an inhale. You might just stay pretty forward facing. As you exhale, you might start to twist to the left any amount. Beautiful work. Good. This is a fantastic place to stay. If you know that you'd like to get in a little deeper, maybe you start to hinge forward, perhaps hooking that right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Maybe even releasing hands, stretching up, kind of get a little leverage there to wrap those right ribs up a little more. Gaze can be forward, it can be up at that left thumb. Keep breathing here, this is intense. Good, one more deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind and just come back to center. So if that left leg was on the chair, you can just release it down. Finding your mountain pose. And then just slowing everything down here, and we're going to move into some breath work. So I actually did a pranayama class with one of my mentors a couple days ago, and this is a new kind of breathing or visualizing the breathing to me, but I actually found it to be quite helpful in terms of breathing down into the belly. So this is kind of like a 3-part breath, but different than the Viloma breath that we do. So we're going to kind of visualize the inhale, and there's going to be these slight little pauses, really small. But as we inhale, we're going to inhale to the upper body, sip in a little more air, and then feel it expand down towards the side body, the ribs. And then we're going to inhale the rest of the way and feel that breath expand down in to the belly. And when you think of it, this is actually probably how the breath works, but we often are thinking, we're kind of doing the opposite. We're kind of starting low and then building up. So we're gonna work the opposite visualization and just see how that feels. And then also another useful visualization here. So we have our diaphragm, and it presses up against the bottom of the breastbone and the rib cage. As we inhale, it's kind of like a bellows. It starts to release down and it fills up with air. And then as we exhale, that diaphragm moves in the opposite direction. So you might want to just play with including that as we visualize the breath here. So go ahead and just release your hands wherever feels comfortable. Just take a few easy breaths here. So feeling soft and relaxed, you're not making the breath do anything. And of course, as we start to move into this breath, if the retentions ever feel too long, if it's not working for you, some days it's just hard, this pranayama. You just breathe easy. That's always, always okay. I believe Annie called this Durga breath. So here we go. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale. Full complete exhale. And then just visualize inhaling to the top of the body. So inhaling in to the upper rib cage. Feel the sternum lift. Pause. Inhale, kind of let that breath move down the rib cage. And then inhale a little more. The breath moves down into the belly. Exhale through your nose. Let it all go. And then just take a couple rounds of normal breath. So not controlling anything. Good. Take a nice deep inhale. Full complete exhale. And again, just kind of visualizing the opposite. So inhale, upper body feels up. Pause. Sip in a little more. The breath drops a little lower. Fill all the way up. So inhaling. And then exhale the breath out. Take a couple rounds of normal breath. Nice deep inhale through your nose. Good, full complete exhale. Good, inhale, upper chest, feel the sternum lift, pause. Inhale, feel the mid ribs expand, pause. Inhale, drop that breath down into the belly. Just visualize that diaphragm really releasing. Slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Return to just steady, even breaths. And then I'm not going to cue you for this, but we're just going to do like 3 or 4 rounds of that Durga breath. But instead of having the pause, it's going to be more of an internal, like quick little pause. But I want you to keep it a little more steady. And you're just going to do it on your own at your own pace. But inhale, upper, a little more, drops like to mid ribs, and then down into the bottom. And then you'll exhale out. So just at your own pace, 3 or 4 rounds of that. You can connect those together. If you need a breath or 2 of recovery in between, you can take that. And when you're complete with that, you're just going to come into a final resting pose here. So you might just continue to sit like this in quiet meditation. You could come into a supported child's pose with your chair or the table in front of you if that feels good. If getting onto the floor, coming into a classic Shavasana is accessible to you, you're always welcome to do that. But just find a place where you can let go, surrender, melt in. So we've worked really, really hard today. Now we want to rest really hard. We want to give the body an opportunity to assimilate all of the poses we've done. And mostly we want to soak up these final moments where we're feeling quiet and open and tuned in. And just enjoy how this feels. Let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And then just start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. So wiggle, stretch, anything that feels good. And then placing your palms in a pile on top of your heart. Checking in here one final time, just noticing how you feel different than when you started. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for your commitment, for making the effort. Send your body love and gratitude. It's a gift to be able to work and move like this. And finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry some of this feeling with you into the rest of the week ahead, and you'll lose it. So maybe also just commit to the idea of pausing and breathing a few times throughout the week. Maybe doing some cat-cow or sun salutes, just some simple stretching. So we don't need a full hour to capture this. You're all really good at this. Good. Just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, yogis. Thank you. It's always so good to see you every Monday.